All right, folks. She was not paying attention there. I think that was what happened on the last video too. So, what do we have tonight, Toots? Don't say that. What do we have tonight, Toots?
WOLFPACK.
WOLFPACK. It sounds like a wolf pack in our living room at the moment because the two Aussie Shepherd puppies, Bonnie and Clyde, are wolfing it up with Hunter. In fact, you might have heard one there. So, we were just talking about some submarine movies. Hey! That works a bit. There are 3 sub-movies that I've watched with Miss Katie. There's Das Boot, which Miss Katie was. Show us the look.
I slept through it.
Yeah, Miss Katie did. Put your head back and look like you're asleep. Yeah, so... Or like the Connie Duncan look in the comic Zits, the head broken.
Yeah.
Then there's U571 with...
Bon Jovi.
And...
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, whose name I can't pronounce and I can't know that he did anything else. And then there was Greyhound, which we recently watched, which was really pretty dang good. With Tom, I sleepwalked through a lot of movies, Hanks. So, but what's a wolf pack, Miss Katie?
It's a wolf pack.
And why would we have, what's the virtue of a wolf pack be if you're a wolf or a U-boat? Numbers. So instead of being
singular,
you have
many.
So we were surprised to get this one. Elizabeth from GMT sent it to us. And it's funny, I didn't even know this game was out. And the other day I just happened to come across it and went, wow, maybe no, they'll send me something dull and stinky. We're in our best Eeyore voice. Oh no. So, but instead we got this, and the designer, Mike Berticelli, I happen to like a great deal. So, we'll see how this turns out. And we were talking about it that the complexity is a 6. Well, that's kind of middle of the road. But the solitaire ability is a full straight up 9. So, we'll see. I will look at it tonight. I'll do my part tomorrow on Thanksgiving. Miss Katie could look a little more enthused tonight, couldn't she? Rather than look like she's...
I have pie crust to make.
She is pie crust to make, but she can look more enthusiastic. But look at the front, Toots. Look how big those waves are.
Wow. Yeah.
And why would he be on the surface? One, it's easier often to hunt on the surface, particularly at night. But what else do submarines have to do? They have to charge their batteries.
Okay.
And so running on the surface is how they charge their batteries. Also, running on the surface often gets you sunk faster. So, but all right, folks, we're going to be on with this one. We haven't even opened the box yet. The only thing we have done is cut the cellophane off. So, okay, folks, hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving tomorrow, and I'll be doing my part in the daylight tomorrow. Thanks, folks. Folks, this is rather interesting, and here it is. We're doing this video today on WOLFPACK. And I'm going to first read a statement from Joel Toppin, which I think is really kind of germane to the whole issue with WOLFPACK, and that WOLFPACK is a labor of love from Mike Berticelli. Mike poured a great deal of passion into the design, passion for historical accuracy, but also passion for a fun and challenging game experience. I was privileged to be a part in helping his vision become a reality. Now, the vision word gets tossed around an awful lot. But here I think I'm right on tracking with Joel, because this game, the more I look at it, truly, he had a different kind of vision to bring, because I've had a number of sub-games. We talked about that We'll talk about that here in a bit. And I had the old Avalon Hill sub one, but man, this is different. But the first thing I talk about and note is that, man, why didn't you go with a much sexier cover? I would have gone with something with more color. I understand what you're trying to do in North Atlantic. I'd have still gone with something to spiff it up. But it's a 24 page rule book. You got patrol data on the back, but it is replete with lots of examples. You can't fuss. Replete with lots of examples. But before I say anything else, we first need to thank Elizabeth at GMT Games for the review copy. GMT has graciously supported us over the years, and I try to always be thankful for what I get. But here you see here the map. And you get different, I mean, there is, you can't fuss about what is done here in terms of examples. It should make it set up and easy to play as far as I can tell. I mean, we even had TDC calculations in this. It's like, oh my God, I told that. Now, I can't think of any other game that is a WOLFPACK game other than the old SPI one. I probably am not going to play this game for some time because I am just slammed on games. This would require more time than I have at the moment. I shouldn't say that. But I have a guy who's an actual silent service one, Dave Newport, who is my favorite other reviewer in the world. And Dave will get this because Dave is a submariner, an actual one. And I want to get this off so that we can publish it in the next issue of Panzerschreck as well. Because Dave's just top. But the rules here are so nice. So are, and this starts to look like the setup for Jerry White's, both his air battle games and his Atlantic chase, 76 pages. Oh my God, yeah. But again, it's the same sort of thing. It just looks like a lot. It just looks like a lot. It's not necessarily so. And if this is your cup of tea, my God, you're going to be thrilled. You're just going to be completely thrilled with this. Now let's look at the map. And this is a different map here, folks. You have, like here on the side, your ASW search bar. You have your patrol box. You have escorts. You have U-boat depth of detection. Your turn information, speed, weather, time of day, sequence of play. I might have made that just a little brighter for us old folks, but it would have broken the flow here. So, big map. Pretty interesting. Now let's walk around to what I really consider the heart of the game, and that's the various cards. The cards are just exceedingly well done. Here you got, everything is just set up well, and it reminds me also of the earlier games that were done by GMT, such as the Doodle Raid. But everything is set up very well here in terms of patrol sequence of play. You flip this one over to Bravo, U-boat movement. I don't know why Bravo wasn't over here. I'd have put Bravo over here, but small thing. Everything is laid out easily. You can't, I can't fuss. Man, I could, but that would not be true. Now here it is again. We see, U-boat movement, patrol sequence. I'm gonna step away, folks, for a moment and get my lights off. So there's that part. Now let's walk around because we got to go the whole way around the table on this one today. Now we have, let's start here. Let's see, we went through E. Okay, here we go escort refit, damage effects. We have then surface gunnery attacks, depth charge attacks, and then you got the whole Alpha, India. So, and these are double cards. Okay, let's move on down. End of patrol and return to base. Flip it over. Additional U-boat fates. Patrol setup. Now, I don't know why that wasn't actually the start. That's a... And then, of course, you know, your draw piles, how to set up other things. This handy-dandy WOLFPACK campaign sheet here with flotillas, captains if you wish those. And on the back side, let's see if the back side is the same. No, look at that. Your crew enhancement sheet for the various missions. Listen, you can't fuss about this one. And then let's come over to see. And it's easy to walk around today because Mittens has been released from purgatory and is out of the room. We've used how the training scenario is set up, and look, the rules of the pages. Again, you can't fuss. Sequence of play for the training scenario, single war setup, victory conditions. That's a single war patrol. Patrol mission setup. I mean, and these are, you know, like I always like to do, flap things around. Early campaign setup. Full campaign setup. All this is clearly explained in the rules. The cards seem to be pretty dang spiffy. Let's look at the cards here, folks. This is just a sample of the cards. 3, I mean, look at this. 3 thick packs. And as they say here, one is the ASW attack deck, one is the patrol deck, and one is the angled DRM deck. So 3 decks of cards. We have 5 sheets of counters, 5 big ones, and of course number 1, number 2 with markers, number 3 with more markers, number 4 with more markers, number 5 with more stuff, and then you've got your U-boat cards. So, in terms of marketing, again, I'd have gone with a different cover. But counters are nice and big. They're easy to read. What do you say about this, folks? I would say that GMT has hit this one out of the park. That it is fully, it checks all the right designs in terms of historical, from all my readings and research. So I probably assume there's enough said there. But this is all I haven't seen any game with this sort of fidelity and look, and the use of color here, and that almost everybody has a beard because nobody's going to waste water shaving. Man, it seems like there's a lot of fiddly stuff. It sort of is, but not really, and that's why you have up to maybe 4 players that could play it with different boats. Now, it may seem like an ex dua machina in a sense that it's more than just a WOLFPACK, because you got control over more ships or more U-boats than you would necessarily as the flotilla commander to do, you know, actions with. Well, but it captures the intent, and the fact that it manages to capture the intent in my mind so well is good enough. This doesn't pass the initial sniff test. This where you go and you roll around on top of it if you're a dog. So it doesn't really pass the sniff test because you're rolling around on top of it because it's such a good smell. It would have shocked me if Joel Toppin would have had agreed to be the designer if there wasn't this depth of meat here. So my initial comments is there is more than enough meat here to feast upon when you hit those winter storms. So folks, this seems like a strong buy. Considering this box is a back bender, it's a very heavy box. You know, it's the crack I made earlier, or I guess actually a later part of my commentary is that, you know, the old GMT gains by the metric ton. Well, that is here. The only negative you might see right off front with the game is it does not have a plastic tray inside. So, don't know how everything is going to fit, but I think, like all of us, we managed to do it. So, let's get this one out and up because I got to pot some cactus today because we've had a couple freezing nights. Folks, I will be handing this off in a moment to Miss Katie and walking around, so you'll probably see the back of my head for a moment. But this is Mittens. Mittens is in the sick room, which is also my game room. So right now you see litter stuff over there. Oh, garbage bags and all, because Mittens, we thought we were going to lose Mittens. We didn't lose Mittens. We're happy about that, and Mittens is back to eating and pooping again. So, all is good in our world here. So, happy Thanksgiving. I'm handing it over to Miss Katie as she gets ready to sit down to focus on me, as I subtly tell her to sit down. And she is taking the phone from me, and you will be seeing me walk towards the thing. And my shirt's clean, right, miss?
You think I would let you do a video with
Well,
a dirty shirt? Really?
Right now, folks, it's...
You have such little faith.
We have game parts out all over the table. We will be fooling around and putting things into proper order. I will do that by myself because our crappy thing is still crappy. But let's talk about books real fast with this intelligently designed new game, WOLFPACK from GMT. Brute Force by John Ellis. We always talk about John Ellis. He's scathing. Scathing. He's part on the U-boat war, just like North Africa, just like the bombing campaign is just tremendous. However, this is not a however about Brute Force. 1997. Happy birthday, darling. Kitten. But his other book, The Sharp End of War, isn't quite as good, which we recently bought on a whim, and that whim should have stayed unwhimsical. Count Not the Dead, the popular image of the German submarine. It's kind of an erudite must-read. It's a little out there sometimes, but it seems a little repetitive at points, but very good read. Evan Maudsley debated buying this book for a couple years in Florida, would not pull the trigger. It was a mistake to not buy this because I like his book on the Russian front. The U-boat portion is very good. I strongly recommend that one. Of course, then there is the book that I first read when I was 10 years old, which everybody has, The Two Ocean War, right? Samuel Eliot Morison? Katie's dad even had this, and Katie's dad was a USAF guy. Well, he started as a USAF guy, but then went to the blue side in 1947. But another strong read, and of course there is and you may hear the puppies in the background because they're crated, so they don't pee on the floor. Clay Blair's, is this one the Hunted, sweetie?
Hitler's U-boat war.
Okay, yeah, The Hunters. Because then the follow-on book is The Hunted. A must-have book. Simply a must-have book. And of course, there are others. We always know that. But these are mine that have stayed in the library. Let's talk about some other games on this. There is first... Remember this one, folks? Because what are we looking at today? Miss Katie's going to have to kind of gently move the phone with me. And then I move back. Ta-da! Look at the titles. They match. It's WOLFPACK. Okay. This is probably one of the games I've played the most. I even have it on for the PC. It was a brilliant little game design, I thought. I'll have to look on Board Game Geek to see how much people have pinged it unfairly. But it's a good little WOLFPACK over the top look at it. Then there was recently, we did this one, Sea Wolves, worthy little contender. Tactical level though. Tactical at the solo U-boat level. Then there is Eric von Rossing's A Solitaire Game of U-Boat Warfare during World War II. And guess what? He shows up in this material because he's a pretty sharp guy. Does a lot of other kind of games. He was gracious enough to send us this one when he could have chosen not to. But then there, of course, there's the Compass game, which we bought. Steel Wolves. We played that some time ago. And of course, the backside is very exciting. It reminds you of the Silent Victory game. Good game. Then, of course, there is Mr. Graver's Minda Games U-Boat Captain. Again, solitaire, one U-boat. Nothing like what I will be looking at here in a little bit in terms of charts for a WOLFPACK. Because even Miss Katie knows what a WOLFPACK is. And what is a WOLFPACK, Toots? In terms of animal kingdom.
Oh, wolves are part of the dog family, and dogs are pack animals.
Are pack animals, and they hunt better as a pack, don't they?
Yes, they do.
So therefore, a series of U-boats is going to sink more ships in a convoy. And in fact, Miss Katie likes some sub-movies. She didn't like Das Boot.
Slept through it.
Slept through it twice. We tried it twice.
U571.
U571 she likes because it has
Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi and Mark McClooney or McClooney.
Matthew McConaughey.
Okay, I was going to say McClanahan's drugstore in downtown Penn State.
Yeah, no.
She liked that one.
Oh, Hunt for Red October.
Hunt for Red October, a later one, much later, but
Sean Connery.
And she also liked Greyhound with Mr. Tom Hanks, who sleeps through a lot of his roles, but he was very good.
Greyhound was good.
Greyhound was very good, and that was a WOLFPACK in that one. Mm-hmm. And of course, there's my personal favorite from childhood, Robert Mitchner's The Enemy Below, which is very good movie and was always on CBS at least one summer night to fill in. And I would always watch that one because the Germans would sing, because the German U-boat commander would play Psychological Warfare Adventure and put on the German song on the phonograph and play it. So there you have this part of it. We will then go ahead, do the real game stuff, and our buddy Joel Toppin is the developer of it. That speaks volumes positively for me. So we'll be looking at this shortly in terms of actual game for the unboxing, but I wanted to kind of share some of this other stuff because there's other good stuff out there, but it is not like this, and I think you're going to be blown away by the presentation of this one. Miss Katie noted that this was a very heavy box. There are those folks who do not like GMT, who says GMT stands for games by the metric ton. Sometimes that may be true. Other times it is not true. And this time it is true in both the most positive fashion, because there is much to this game. And if you're a U-boat guy, you're going to be satisfied. If you're a U-boat guy looking for a real WOLFPACK game, of which I can't think that there really are any, except for, ta-da, the old SPI one, and it's nothing like this. This is tactical, this is strategic or operational. This is solely tactical. So, all right, folks, I can't think of anything else at the moment. I'll be looking at this. And if you're an Ohio State fan, I hope your players enjoyed the pepper spray today. Thanks, folks. We'll talk to you in a little bit because she's going to get ready to turn it off now. Thanks.